Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Welcome to your math lesson. In this lesson of ratio and proportion, today we are going to cover the unitary method. That is unitary method. We are going to, by the end of this particular lesson, we are going to understand what is unitary method, where we can use it, and what is the practical use of it. Okay, so starting with the unitary method. In order to understand this, let us consider these situations that are given. It says two friends, Reshma and Seema, went to market to purchase notebooks. Okay, so we have got two friends, Reshma and Seema, and they have went to the market to purchase notebooks. Reshma purchased two notebooks for ₹24. So this is the amount given that Reshma has paid in order to buy two notebooks. What price is for one notebook? So can you find what is the amount for one notebook if you are given ₹24 for two notebooks? Can you think of it? Just think of the answer. What two numbers will add together to give you 24? That will be the cost of each notebook. If you can do this, it is, let's just put a hit and trial method. If I add 10 and 10, it is 20. If I add 11 and 11, it is 22. If I'll add 12 and 12, it is 24. So the cost of each notebook is ₹12. Okay. This is why he is paying 24 for two notebooks. I hope this is clear. Let's look at the second condition. In this situation, it is given a scooter requires 2 liters of petrol to cover 80 kilometers. Okay. How many liters of petrol is required to cover 1 kilometer? So for 2 liters, how much we are traveling? We are traveling 80 kilometers. We need to find what will be the amount of how much liter will be required in order to work for 1 kilometer. Now the question that we have just worked here, this was really simple. We could find out that 12 plus 12 is 24. But now how can we find that if for 2 liters we are traveling 80 kilometers? How can we find for this particular answer, that is for 1 kilometer? Working down, breaking 24 into 2 was simple. But can you break 80 into such that you get 1 as one of the part? Is it simple? If not, then let us learn about this more in this lesson in order to see how we can work this answer. We'll come back to this particular question later. Okay. Look at this here. The method in which first we find the value of 1 unit and then we find the value of a required number of units, it is called as the unitary method. The word you see unit, it means 1. Okay, 1 represented by a unit, and unitary method is to calculate the value of 1. So here we have got a table. Let us use this table and then let us see that how unitary method is helping us. Okay, in the first column you can see we are given time, distance traveled by Karan and distance traveled by Kirti. Okay, so it says that the time taken is 2 hours and the distance traveled is 8 kilometers. And in the next one, distance traveled by Kirti 6 kilometers. Now time taken is 1 hour. So the distance is from 2 hours, it has changed to 1 hour. So from 8 kilometers, we are just going to do half of it. It is 4 kilometers. So half of 6 is 3 kilometers. Is that right? Now from 1 to 4 kilometers. So we are going to do 4 times. So what is 4 kilometers going to be after timesing it by 4? Is 16 kilometers. Now the same we need to do here. We need to times 3 kilometers by 4 in order to find this number. It will be 12 kilometers. So do you see, first of all, we got something with, we got 2 hours. What we did with this? We converted into 1 hour. We use the unitary method. Then we can calculate for any value. Can you tell me how much distance Karan can travel in 10 hours? What do you think? What do you need to times it with? You times this particular number that he's traveling in 1 kilometer by 10. So it will be 40 kilometers. I hope this is clear. Now, how much is he traveling? If we can see that Kirti is traveling 3 kilometers in 1 hour. So in 10 hours, it will be 30 kilometers. So we calculate for 1 and then with that help, we can calculate for any. Okay. Now let us see this question. If the cost of 6 cans of juice is rupees 210, then what will be the cost of 4 cans of juice? Okay, let us write it here. Cost of 6 cans of juice is equal to rupees 210. So what do we do in order to find the cost of 4 cans? Let us first calculate the value for 1 can. Okay. So let us do the unitary method. So cost of 1 can of juice is equal to, how do we do this? We divide 210 by 6. Okay, because the value for 6 cans is 210. To calculate the value of 1, we divide 210 by 6. So on dividing 210 by 6, we get the answer as 35 rupees. So if the cost of 1 can is 35 rupees, how can we find the cost of 4 cans? So the cost of 4 cans is equal to 4 multiplied by 35 rupees, because 35 is the cost of each can. So in order to find value of 4 cans, we just simply multiply 35 by 4 and the answer is 140 rupees. Is this clear? Now let us see the example that we have left here. It says scooter requires 2 liters of petrol to cover 80 kilometers. So for 2 liters, it is 80 kilometers. Okay. For 1 liter, it will be 80 over 2, that is 40 kilometers. So for 1 liter, it is 40 kilometers. But here it is not asking what distance, right? In 1 liter, what distance he'll travel? We are not asking this. He is asking that in how much petrol will be needed to cover 1 kilometer. So instead of dividing this distance by liter, we need to find, let us write it here, 80 kilometers is for 2 liters. So 1 kilometer will be 2 over 80. I hope this is clear, that if 2 liters equals 80 kilometers, then in order to find 1 liter, we divide 80 by 2. But here we have 80 kilometers in distance is covered in 2 liters of petrol. So in order to travel 1 kilometer, we need 2 divided by 80. And if you divide 2 by 80, the answer will be 0.025 kilometers. Okay, so this is the distance that he will travel in 1 liter of petrol. Or if you want to convert this into meters, it will be, after multiplying it by 1000, the answer will be 25 meters. I hope this is clear. Now let us go back to the question. It says a motorbike travels 220 kilometers in 5 liters of petrol. How much distance will it cover in 1.5 liters of petrol? So let us write it down. 220 kilometers in 5 liters. Right? 220 kilometers in 5 liters. How much distance? We need to find how much distance in 1.5 liters, right? Now, can you see that this question looks like the question of ratios? Is that right? You can write this as 220 is to 5 is something is to 1.5. Okay, I'll just use a box here. Okay, I hope you do remember we have the method of Let me just write it here first. So we know the method that the multiplication of extremes and the means, they are equal. So let us use that method to find the value of this. Okay. So the extremes are 220 multiplied by 1.5. So 220 multiplied by 1.5 gives the answer 330. And 5 times what number we need to find so that we get the same answer, 330. Let us do this. 5 times what number? Say x is equal to 330. So x is equal to 330 divided by 5, and the answer for this will be 66. So what we have got is that a motorbike travels 220 kilometers in 5 liters of petrol. How much distance will it cover in 1.5 liters is 66 kilometers. So what method we have used here? We have used the method of ratios and proportion to get this answer, right? Now, this was little revision part. Now we know the answer already. Let us use the unitary method to find the answer. Okay. And with this, I hope you can understand that one single question can be solved in different ways. So what way you are choosing is all up to you. Okay. Because in the question, you don't see anywhere that use the unitary method. You can use any method. But if the question says itself that use the unitary method, then make sure that you are using the unitary method. Okay. So here it says that in 5 liters of petrol, motorbike travels 220 kilometers. Okay. Now, in 1 liter, how much will it travel? It will be 220 divided by 5. So let us see what is 220 divided by 5. It is 44 kilometers. Now we know that for 1 liter it will travel 44 kilometers. So what do we need to find? We need to find in 1.5 liters how much it will travel. So it will be 1.5 multiplied by 44. And if we multiply 44 by 1.5, the answer is 66 kilometers. And you can see this is the same answer that we have calculated earlier using the method of ratio and proportion. So I hope this is clear how we use the unitary method. We first find the value for 1 and then we use the method of multiplication to find the value of many. Okay. Now let us do the next question. It says if the cost of a dozen soaps is rupees 153.60, what will be the cost of 15 such soaps? Okay. So how many are there in a dozen? I hope you are saying it's 12. So you are correct. So let us write the cost of 12 soaps is equal to rupees. How much is it? 153.60. Right. Now if we know the cost of 12, let us find the cost of 1. So cost of 1 soap is equal to rupees 153.60 divided by 12. So if we divide 153.60 by 12, the answer is rupees 12.8. Okay. Now, if we know the cost of 1, let us find the cost of 15 such soaps. So the cost of 15 soaps is equal to, that is 15 multiplied by the cost of each soap, that is 12.8. Now 12.8 multiplied by 15 is rupees 192. Okay. Now let us do the other one. It says cost of 105 envelopes is rupees 350. How many envelopes can be purchased for rupees 100? So let us write for rupees 350, we get 105 envelopes. Okay, for rupee 1, we get how many envelopes? It will be 105 over 350. Okay, let's just keep it here. Let's not solve it. Now let us see for rupees 100, how much we are going to do? It will be 100 multiplied by 105 over 350. I hope this is clear what we have done. Instead of using the method of multiplication like earlier what we were doing, we were first finding what is the cost for each envelope. But then we realized that because we are asked that how many envelopes we are going to get for 100, we have just converted the answer in the terms of rupees. Okay, earlier we were working in terms of envelopes, now we are working in terms of rupees. So how do we do for 1? We divide the given number of envelopes with the total amount. Okay, this gives the number of envelopes we'll get for 1 rupee. Okay, but because this is going to be a very small number, we will not solve it to the complete answer. Let's just keep it 405 over 350. Now let us solve it for multiplying it with 100. Okay, so here we can cross off the zeros. So it is 1050 over 35. So if we divide 1050 by 35, the answer comes out to be 30. So how many envelopes can we get for rupees 100 is 30 envelopes. Is that clear? Now let us see the next one. A car travels 90 kilometers in 2.5 hours. So this is the total time taken by a car to travel 90 kilometers. Okay. Now it says that how much time is required to cover 30 kilometers with the same speed. Okay, so here, so it is given that 90 kilometers in 2.5 hours. So first of all, we can write 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours is how much in minutes? 2 hours is 60 plus 60, 120. Half hour is 30 more. So it is 150 minutes. Okay, then what do? We are given that 90 kilometers in 150 minutes. So let us see that how much it will take for 1 kilometer. So let us write 90 kilometers is equal to 150 minutes. This is the time taken to travel 90 kilometers. In order to travel 1 kilometer, what do? We simply divide 150 by 90. And solving this to the lowest form, it gives 5 over 3. Okay, and this is in minutes. Now we are required to find how much time is required to cover 30 kilometers. So we know about 1 kilometer. In order to find for 30 kilometer, we simply need to multiply 30 by what time is taken to travel in 1 minute. Right? So it is 5 over 3 in minutes. So if we solve this, we get the answer as 50 minutes. I hope this is clear. Moving to the next part of it. It is saying find the distance covered in 2 hours with the same speed. So we know that 90 kilometers is what we are traveling in 150 minutes. Is that right? Now, because it is asking us 2 kilometers, that means we need to find for 120 minutes. Can we find how much time it will take? How much distance will it cover in 1 minute? In 1 minute, it will be 90 over 150 kilometers. Let's convert this into the simplest form. It will be 3 over 5 kilometers. Now we know what distance is covered in 1 minute. Let us find for 120 minutes. Okay. So 120 minutes, what we'll do? We'll simply multiply 120 by 3 over 5. I hope this is clear how we have done this. Now, let us solve 120 divided by 5 is 24 and 24 multiplied by 3 is 72 kilometers. So, how much is it traveling in 2 hours is 72 kilometers.